evening and welcome to the Newshour Agenda. TMC MP Mahua Moitra has been expelled following the adoption of the Ethics Committee's report by the Lok Sabha today. Now, during the course of the discussion that took place around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, TMC members of Parliament demanded that Mahua Moitra be given a chance to speak. However, that was denied by the chair, which was officially Om Birla, the Speaker. The Treasury benches also moved the motion to adopt the Ethics Committee report that had in fact demanded or recommended rather her expulsion. Listen in to what Mahua Moitra had to say.
This Lok Sabha has also seen the weaponization of a parliamentary committee. Ironically, the Ethics Committee, which was set up to serve as a moral compass for members. Instead, it has been abused egregiously today to do exactly what it was never meant to do, which is to bulldoze the opposition and become another weapon to talk us into submission. This committee and this report has broken every rule in the book. In essence, you are finding me guilty of breaching a code of ethics that does not exist. The committee is punishing me for engaging in a practice that is routine, accepted and encouraged in the House. What is important is that if this Modi government thought that by shutting me up, they are going to do away with the Adani issue, let me tell you this, that this kangaroo court has only shown to all of India that the haste and the abuse of due process you have used demonstrates how important Mr. Adani is to you and to what length you will go to harass a single woman MP into shutting her into submission. You have disregarded due process, proportionality and abused every tenet. This is the beginning of your end. जब नाश मनुष्य पर छाता है तो पहले विवेक मर जाता है. We're going to come back and we're going to see the end of you. So thank you very much.
West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee came out strongly backing Mahua Moitra, saying that this was a result of political vendetta.
I strongly condemned it. Party is totally behind the Mahua, and our party will fight along with Indian Alliance together against the vindictive politics of BJP. इसको democracy को bypass surgery कर दिया.
Members of Parliament of the BJP, however, hit out at Mahua Moitra, saying that she lost her chance to speak in front of the Ethics Committee by not answering the questions that were posed before her, and that all parliamentary practices were followed by the Ethics Committee before sending out this report.
2005 में 10 लोगों को निष्कासित किया गया था, उसी दिन रिपोर्ट दिया गया था और उस टाइम भी 10 लोगों को इधर अपने बात रखने का मौका नहीं दिया गया था. ये रिकॉर्ड पे है. आज जहां तक मैं जानता हूं, उस माननीय सोमनाथ चटर्जी ने उसके ऊपर रूलिंग दिया गया था. ये क्या बात करे और कलंकित वगैरह जो हुआ है. सारे देश इतना बड़ा वाइब्रेंट डेमोक्रेसी, इतना बड़ा दुनिया के सबसे बड़ा डेमोक्रेसी, अभी हमारे पूरे डेमोक्रेसी का जो एक कलंक है, वो कलंक के बारे में वो बात करो.
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Good evening. Lok Sabha has considered the Ethics Committee's report into the conduct of Mahua Moitra, and the report which had recommended the expulsion of Mahua Moitra has been adopted by the Lok Sabha. In effect, she stands expelled as a member of Parliament. But Mahua Moitra, in fact, spoke out against this decision. She has, in fact, attacked the government. To talk about this, we have with us our panelist, Aparajita Sarangi, member of Parliament, a national spokesperson of the BJP. She was part of the Ethics Committee as well. Also with us is Dr. Sashi Panja, who's Minister in charge of the Department of Women and Child Development and Social Welfare and national spokesperson of the TMC. I'd like to thank both of you for joining us this evening. Dr. Sashi Panja, if I can begin with you. Now, in fact, that Mahua Moitra has been expelled from the Lok Sabha following the Ethics Committee tabling its report on the cash for query allegations. Would the TMC still continue to defend Mahua Moitra?
Trinamool Congress stands with her member, Mahua Moitra, in her fight. And our Honourable Chairperson, All India Trinamool Congress Chairperson, Mamata Banerjee, has already mentioned that this is, today was an unfortunate day for Indian democracy. And democracy stands still. I mean, justice was not given to the Member of Parliament, Mahua Moitra, and she was not heard. The entire process was not transparent. At every step, there was violation of the constitutional provisions. And of course, Mamata Banerjee did also say that the very fact that they may have expelled her, but she will continue with the organizational work. Lok Sabha 2024 is due, and she will reconsider her to be the candidate again on behalf of EITC in whichever 42 constituencies of the state, and she will be re-elected, and the fight will be on.
Right.
The fight will continue.
Right. Let me ask you, ma'am, because I'm quoting from the committee, because the committee which recommended expulsion has stated that there's unethical conduct and contempt of House by Shri Mahua Moitra for sharing her Lok Sabha credentials to an unauthorized person. There are also details of the report that were part of the report which talk about the number of locations, at least 49 times, and on several occasions within a span of few days or few hours from different geographies and different jurisdictions. What explains that? Because the committee members would say that the action has been taken on part of or a basis of the reports that have been given by the various government departments. Dr. Panja.
Precisely so. These were the very allegations. There was also cash for query, which ultimately there was no evidence. And again, the logging, these were the very allegations which she wanted to speak about. She wanted to depose in the ethics committee. She was humiliated and she was demeaned, and she was not given a chance. There were personal attacks on her character, etc., for which they had to walk out in the way she did, and also the other members who walked out of that committee meeting. Even the draft of the ethics draft of the report, which was to be tabled in the ethics committee, was already in the public domain before it was to be tabled in the committee to be accepted or rejected, whatever. So the entire process is very non-transparent. It's absolutely unethical itself.
Okay.
And the very fact that today in Lok Sabha they mentioned, I mean, she was not given a chance to she was not given a hearing, she was not given a chance to speak today.
Okay, let's take that across with the BJP spokesperson, who's also a member of parliament, who was part of the ethics committee. We have Aparajita Sarangi joining us. Aparajita Sarangi, the allegation of the TMC is that the process was not transparent. Even today, she was not allowed to speak in the House, and therefore they say that it is an injustice to this member of parliament. Your response to these charges coming from the TMC? Aparajita Sarangi.
Let me tell you that whatever happened today was extremely unfortunate, but this incident has precedence. In 2005, when Sri Somnath Chatterjee ji was the Honorable Speaker Lok Sabha, 10 MPs from Lok Sabha had been expelled, and they had not been allowed to put forth their viewpoints in the Lok Sabha. Parliamentary Standing Committee on Ethics and Privileges met thrice in Mahua Moitra's case. I had the privilege of being one of its members, and we had 3 sittings, and they were voting 3 times. Every time the majority went against her, let me tell you, very categorically and candidly. And in all these 3 sittings, we gave opportunity of being heard to the complainants, Jay Dehadrai and Honorable MP Nishikant Dubeji. And we also heard Madam Mahua Moitra at length. And many questions were asked relating to the content of the affidavit. And when the questions were being asked, she lost her cool. She actually became so very impatient that she started using unparliamentary words for the chairman. And then, she was fuming and fretting, and she walked out of the room, kind of staged a walkout. So I think had she been cool then, had she spoken to us much more, we wanted to hear her. We wanted her to answer all our questions. See, let me tell you that I am a woman. I am here to uphold the dignity of women. No question which was not in line with the dignity of women was asked. Every question was related to the content of the affidavit, sworn affidavit by Darshan Hiranandani. So I think today she is trying to build a fake narrative. She has been trying to play a victim card, and she has been trying to mislead the nation, which is very unfortunate.
Okay, but if I may ask you, ma'am, she says that, the affidavit of Mr. Hiranandani, which was submitted, why was Mahua Moitra, she says in the interest of natural justice, she should have been allowed to access them or cross-examine them. Why was that not done in your view?
So let me tell you that Darshan Hiranandani had sent a sworn affidavit. So let us be very clear about it. It was an affidavit shown before the Deputy Consulate General in Dubai. Right, when an affidavit has been shown, the person stands by what he says. So when the person stands by what he says, what is the need of calling the person concerned? So I think we went through the content of the affidavit, we heard the complainant, we heard the defendant, and of course we went into the report submitted by the Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministry of IT and other related ministries of Government of India. Is it right when we share our login credentials with staff of certain businessman located in Dubai? He is an Indian national, but his friends, etc., are in Dubai, and he is almost staying in Dubai. And then, you know, on one particular day, questions have been uploaded from various locations, including US, Bangalore, and Delhi. So how do you explain this kind of conduct?
Within the span of one day. Within the span of one day. So Sashi Panja, Madhavdas Sarangi saying the process has been followed as per the ethics committee's practices are concerned. At the end of the day, of course, she has a point, because this is not perhaps a trial court. There are certain processes that parliamentary committees have, and she says that those processes were followed to the T. It's Mahua who has to explain how there could be multiple logins from different jurisdictions that are asked you within the span of just one day, different countries where the same login has been used. Sashi Panja.
No, as much as I can hear your question, I could hear Aparajita G very clearly. What I'm trying to say, there's just 1 or 2, 3 points as a rebuttal to what you said. The 2005, that there has been a precedence. And if we think that the precedence, that there was wrongdoing in that, BJP claims that they're correcting many wrongs. So you could have corrected it. I mean, why do you continue to quote a precedence because it suits your convenience? Even in fact, at that time, there were some BJP members who were expelled, and that was very wrong at that time. So why do you continue with something which was wrong at that time? So you cannot use that because it's very easy for you to, it's convenient for you. Secondly, she mentions that all members were in tune with what they wanted, and the others were overruled by it. You see, it's quite true that it's that brute majority that we speak of, and it's obviously, it was a political decision that they had taken. It was politically decided. As much as you may continue to say this was unfair, that why was Kheer Nandani not allowed to depose here? I mean, why are you trying to defend him by saying that he has given a sworn affidavit, etc.? These may be very technical. This is what they defended. The Mahua Moitra was trying to say, she wanted to cross-examine. I mean, there was no natural justice. It was totally denied. Even today, when the debate was on in Lok Sabha, what was the hurry? If you're so confident, then you just give 2 hours for members to read a 400-page document which has been given with just 2 hours. What was the hurry there? You could have debated this another 2-3 days if you're so confident. But the very fact that this was done in a hurried way, this was already decided that you need to expel and to shut her up. But that doesn't matter. I mean, of course, women in power is something which BJP cannot tolerate. I mean, look at the way Giriraj Singh spoke about Honorable Chief Minister, Mahila Mukhyamantri Mamata Banerjee. ठुमके लगा रही थी, जश्न कर रहे थे. This is, I mean, just look at the chronology, and the nation is up in arms about this. You cannot disregard women like. I mean, you may have 13% women MPs, but then there are women MPs, women in power. We may have 35% women MPs, but there are women in power. They enjoy the same rights. She's been denied her rights.
Aparajita Sarangi, you're not. There's a problem that BJP has with women in power. That's a statement coming in from the TMC. And look at the statement of Giriraj Singh as the example that they're quoting. Your response to Dr. Sashi Panja, Aparajita Sarangi.
Let's refrain from indulging in politics. Let's not say that since she's a woman this has happened. Let us not get into all this. We cannot behave in a manner which is unbecoming of a parliamentarian. We have to have ethical standards which we need to conform.
Where was your protest when Giriraj Singh said that about?
No, I think when you spoke, I didn't speak.
You are
Please allow me to speak.
You should have asked your minister to apologize and not speak about Tumka in that manner about a woman minister. It's not about you speaking and my speaking. It's not about you winning and my winning.
When you spoke, I didn't speak.
We are women, ma'am. Did you all stand up? Did you all protest? Is that the way to behave with a woman MP?
It's not a question of being a woman or a man. It's the question is that of being a parliamentarian. That's it.
No. What about the woman chief minister?
And we cannot go against the
what do you say about
ethical standards. You know, you cannot ask your...
What ethicals? The ethics committee behaved in an unethical manner.
With somebody staying in Dubai.
Behaved in an unethical manner. Ma'am, say about Ramesh Biduri. What did Ramesh Biduri say in Lok Sabha? You were elected. You were there within the precincts of the Lok Sabha. Ramesh Biduri said about
you have to stop speaking. Unless you stop, I cannot speak.
Ms. Panja, you made your points to allow Raparita to speak.
You protest.
She's responding to you.
Only when it is...
Dr. Panja, you made your points. Let her respond to you. Let her respond to you now.
She's not responding.
Parliamentary Standing Committee on Ethics and Privileges has submitted the report after due diligence. Let me tell you very candidly, we heard the complainant and the defendant, we went through all the reports, and we have submitted the report. The Lok Sabha considered the report, and the Lok Sabha took a decision. I think we all need to respect the decision, and in 2005 also this had happened. And when the complainants and the defendant have been heard inside the Parliamentary Standing Committee, there is no reason why they should be allowed to speak in the Lok Sabha. So there has been no precedence at all.
Yeah, no, there is a precedent of 1951 where Mr. Mudgal, who resigned, was, before he was expelled, he did speak in Parliament. And that's been reported in the report itself while citing past incidents that Mudgal did participate in the debate.
See, let me tell you that here there was a Parliamentary Standing Committee on Privileges and Ethics, and it has submitted its report with due diligence. And due time was given to Madam Mahua Moitra to present her case. So I don't think we need to go beyond this.
Okay, so Dr. Panja, there are also several questions that arise out of this in terms of the role of Mahua Moitra, because it's not just about the login credentials. The fact is that some of the gifts that have been spoken about, you know, whether it's not just money, but also allegation of accepting in kind facilities from businessman Darshan Hiranandani. Some of them she has herself accepted, and therefore that has also been highlighted as unethical conduct by the Parliamentary Committee.
She, as per Mahua Moitra, as much as I could understand of your question, Mahua Moitra has repeatedly said that Darshan Hiranandani is her friend, and these, if whatever gifts have been given or whatever, she has submitted a list, and there has to be a list from the other side too, as much when she was saying that. And then that he is a friend, and these were not in lieu of question. Most of that, the cash for query was remained unproven itself. Regarding login, I mean, you just look at the innocence of another MP today in Lok Sabha who did mention कि मुझे तो कैसे question दिया जाता है मुझे ये मालूम नहीं है. मैं तो अपने PA PS को ही बोलते हैं. And this is most of the MPs have difficulties, and that's how they place their questions. I mean, we are not getting into the technicalities. I'm not part of the ethics committee, but I'm not. That is something which Mahua Moitra was to defend her thing. She has to defend herself in that. What her logic is, etc. But Madam Aparajita Sarangi was a member of the ethics committee. Now, if she's saying that she was given a fair hearing, and if Mahua Moitra says that she was not given a hearing, this is where we stand.
The question about whether she made a mistake by handing over her login, which was used across jurisdictions, remains a very important one, because while it's one thing to give it to your own PA for secretarial assistance, here people across the world, in different parts of the world, are accessing this login.
Okay, I'll tell you the statement which she herself has made, because she could not speak inside Parliament. She spoke outside Parliament once it was over. And she says that the recommendation of expulsion is based solely on the ground that I've shared my Lok Sabha portal login. There are no rules whatsoever to govern the sharing of login. As the hearing of the Ethics Committee demonstrates, all MPs are conveyor belts to get the questions from the public and citizens and to voice it in Parliament. I mean, she's mentioned this. She has mentioned that the complainant says, I accepted cash in consideration from a businessman to ask questions. But the businessman's suo motu affidavit says, I pressurized him into uploading questions to further my agenda. Both the complainant the honorable MP, the BJP MP, the complainant, and the person who's to have given the suo motu affidavit, the wording of the statements are both polar opposites, is what Mahua Moitra has said today. She was not allowed to say today in Parliament. She said that after Parliament was open and she was expelled, then she said all these things. So it was unproven. That is what she's saying. I mean, you should have allowed her a fair chance to speak, be it in the ethics committee or be it.
Ma'am, what happens from here on? How are you going to take this issue forward?
No. You see, Aparajita is an honorable member, woman parliamentarian. I truly respect her. And we are very happy to see women parliamentarians. We are very happy to see women in power. But when it comes to Bengal, there is definitely a tirade against Bengal. I mean, there is definitely a political vendetta, as even Mamata Banerjee said today. And it is as simple. She said 1, 2, 3. Mahua Moitra is an organizational politics. She is going to do that. She's going to voice her views in public as she continues to do, maybe not in Parliament. And forthcoming Lok Sabha elections 2024, the party will consider her to be a candidate, and she will win. And then again, she will be in Parliament. She's going to fight back. She'll continue to fight.
Dr. Panja, I want you to respond to this specific point. Because here you have the BJP saying that she's playing the victim card. She was given a chance, and then she says, I'm a member of Parliament who's a woman, and there was nothing asked which would violate her privacy or be inappropriate for a woman MP to answer. This is what Aparajita Sarangi is saying. Please respond to her.
But what Mahua Moitra has said when she came out from there was Vastra Haran, and this is very strong language, that she was बेइज्जत किया गया. Just shown disrespect to her. She is very clear. I mean, whenever she's even spoken to various press channels, various television channels, she has very clearly laid out her points. But these are points which were not heard in ethics committee. Now, I am not part of the ethics committee. Ma'am is there. Mahua Moitra is denying that she was given a fair chance. I can merely quote her when she came out of the ethics committee saying that this was Vastra Haran which was happening and that she was personally attacked and personally demeaned. She wants to answer them. She wanted to. None of them have been proven. Whatever she has said on her own. The ethics committee could not prove or substantiate. I mean, why can't the Hirnandani be cross-examined? That's what she wanted a chance. She is saying the complainant, Nishikant Dubey's complaint, and the complaint or the suo motu affidavit of Darshan Hirnandani were both polar opposites. You see, I can only quote her because she was there in the ethics committee meeting.
Yes, but there are several questions that she also perhaps has to answer, is what Aparajita Sarangi
precisely.
said.
Then you have to allow her to answer. That is what she wanted. She wanted the scope for that. And that has been denied because this was preconceived, that she has questioned, she has asked uncomfortable questions to the BJP and the union government, and she was silenced.
Aparajita Sarangi, it was preconceived that she will be asked certain questions. It was a preconceived plan.
Now, can anybody in this country, apart from TMC members or some opposition leaders from other political parties, would stand by Mahua Moitra's unethical conduct? Wasn't her conduct unethical? Was she right when she shared her login credentials with somebody in Dubai? And not once or twice, 47 times from Dubai, the questions were uploaded. Is this right kind of conduct? Wasn't her manner unbecoming of a parliamentarian? The affidavit talks of cash for query. Affidavit talks of gifts exchange. Now, these things have to be looked into by an investigative agency to be appointed, or rather decided by the Government of India. This is what our recommendation as a member of the committee is. So my point is, can we justify her conduct? Can any right-thinking person would justify her conduct? So I think those people who are standing by her are not standing by Mahua Moitra. They are supporting unethical conduct. That's what I have to say.
Okay, but Aparajita Sarangi, the question is this, that if there is cash... if there is cash, wouldn't that have been the smoking gun? In the absence of the finding of any cash for query, should there have been expulsion is the question that many would ask. Were the gifts or the sharing of the login enough to justify the expulsion of a member of parliament? Aparajita Sarangi.
See, cash transfer, money trail would amount to criminality. That is not within the purview of Parliamentary Standing Committee on Ethics and Privileges. So that is why we have recommended that the Government of India should appoint an investigative agency to get into that part, the cash trail, the money trail part of it. But as far as the conduct is concerned, the parliamentary procedures observance is concerned, I think Lok Sabha is within its rights to recommend her expulsion based on the report of the Standing Committee.
Okay. Dr. Panja, you want to respond to that?
So already, Aparajita Ji, during the course of our discussion today, the cash for query could not be proven, is quite evident from your statement. All right, it's very no money trail, nothing, but the Ethics Committee recommended an expulsion, which it can't do. That was unethical. That is something which the Lok Sabha decides. And regarding, we keep going back to the statement of, again, the defendant, where she says that about the login ID, she has mentioned that.
Okay.
That the recommendation of expulsion that I've shared my Lok Sabha portal login, there are no rules whatsoever to govern the sharing of the login.
Okay.
This has come much later. We can go on debating about this, but this is a selective, this is a target. Ramesh Biduri, Brijbhushan Sharan Singh, there will be no privileges, no ethics against them, because what they did, sexual harassment or calling people religious derogatory statements, are absolutely within the ethics of the parliament.
Would like to respond to that, Ms. Sarangi. Would like to respond to that. No action on Mr. Biduri, no action on Brijbhushan Sharan Singh. That's a charge coming in from TMC. It's selective in nature.
Absolutely not. Let's refrain from indulging in politics. I'm saying.
What's the politics about,
this has been done because
it's
she's a woman.
ethics.
Please, let's not get into this kind of thing. Whatever is wrong, the law will take its course, and the Lok Sabha Honorable Speaker, I think, and the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs will do whatever is right in accordance with the parliamentary procedures.
Okay, so it's up to the Lok Sabha Speaker, it's up to the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. We'll have to leave it there for the moment. I'd like to thank Sashi Panja as well as Aparajita Sarangi for joining us. The debate is far from over, but all eyes will be on whether the recommendation of the Ethics Committee to go in for an inquiry into this matter will be looked at seriously, and if any central government agency will actually probe this matter further. All eyes on that probe as well. For the moment, thanks so much for joining us on this debate.